Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. And this time it's for Hell Ride. It's a 2008 crime action thriller film directed by Larry Bishop, and it stars Larry Bishop, Michael Madsen, Eric Balfour, Dennis Hopper, Leonor Varela, David Carradine, and Vinnie Jones. In this film, two rival bikers gangs, the Victors and the 666s, refuel their decades-old rivalry. So, what did I think of Hellride? Literally, the only reason I watched this was because of the Quentin Tarantino Presents thing. And while I will talk about other movies that have had the Quentin Tarantino Presents handle to them, a little bit at least, this was just a big fucking disappointment. Wasn't a fan of it, and let's get this the fuck over with. The cast. Larry Bishop plays Pistolero. I've never seen this guy in my entire life. Apparently, in Kill Bill Volume 2, he plays the strip club owner that ends up firing Michael Madsen's character. I almost completely forgot about that scene. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Um, but yeah, he's there. He's very unspecial. He's constantly mugging the camera. He's constantly going like, and this thing he does with his voice is very clearly him trying to sound cooler. So he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," and he's talking like that, and it's very annoying. Michael Madsen plays the gent. He's another part of the Victors. Um, Michael Madsen does his thing. He has a couple scenes where he's fine. Uh, Eric Balfour plays Bix, who's like the youngest biker. He's kind of a newer recruit. I didn't mind Eric Balfour in this. I haven't seen a lot of his movies. I know he's in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. He's in Skyline. A movie a friend of mine just saw with him in it, Backcountry. I've never seen that movie, but no, he didn't do a bad job in this. I actually didn't mind him, and to the point where I think the film would have worked a lot better if Larry Bishop had just stayed director, I guess, because I'll get to that. But Eric Balfour is the most interesting character. He gets kind of the most to do. If I'm being brutally honest, he does the most acting. He's the best actor in the film, even though you have these like heavyweights in this. Dennis Hopper plays Eddie Zero. Um, he's basically just helping the Victors to like settle a score with the 666s. He's fine. I like Dennis Hopper. He's been in a lot of roles like this ever since like Speed. He was in The Crow Wicked Prayer, which is probably the funniest thing he's ever done. Leonor Varela plays Nada, who, oh my god, like every line of dialogue from this character was so shit. I'll talk about the writing too. She's basically just there to be like, oh, getting information about the 666s for the Victors. And her and Larry Bishop's character fuck a couple times. Um, yeah, she's there. David Carradine plays the Deuce. He's in one scene. Like you see his forehead in a scene before that, but um, he's only in one actual scene. He's there. And Vinnie Jones plays Billy Wings. He was okay, but some of his dialogue is so shit. But yeah, I I might have to make this a spoiler review because I have to talk about how shit like this is clearly a movie trying to be a Quentin Tarantino type grindhouse film, kind of like Death Proof was. And while I don't remember much from Death Proof, 100% Death Proof is a better movie than this. This movie, it's also one of those where it's super short, but it feels like it goes on forever. This film is 84 minutes long, 1 hour and 24 minutes, less than most films. What happens in this movie? Again, spoilers. In flashbacks, we're shown a kid seeing a Comanche woman being, her having her throat slit and then set on fire. Later, turns out that Bix was her son, and throughout the entire movie, you're hearing her like in flashbacks saying, "Uh, keep the treasure safe for my son" or something. Uh, and apparently Pistolero and her had a thing, so apparently Bix is Pistolero's son, I guess. Or no, no, wait, he's not Pistolero's son. Sorry. Um, they just had a thing, something like that. He says you can call me dad or whatever, and they try to get um revenge not for that specifically, but for some random friend that we know nothing about who's killed at the very beginning. So you have a revenge movie where you know basically nothing about the lead character. The other characters are much more interesting. Michael Madsen's character not so much, but um Eric Balfour's character, I legitimately think the film would have been a lot better if he was the star. Because while his acting isn't fantastic, he seems to know what type of movie he's in. He has fun with the performance. He takes it serious when it should be taken serious. And I feel like he could be the most badass. And he looks like a biker in this. Like he does. Not that Larry Bishop doesn't, but Larry Bishop is a bit too old for this role. Like he's playing a role that should be played by somebody who was around Eric Balfour's age at this time, which was probably in his 30s. I can check real quick. Born in 77. Oh, so Eric Balfour was 31. Yeah, Eric Balfour was 31. So, like, Eric Balfour is the right age for this character, but he's playing kind of a side character. Um, but yeah, like, you have a very bare bones plot because there are so many scenes in this movie where it's clear that they didn't have enough footage of them doing actual biker stuff for an hour and a half. So you have multiple scenes in strip clubs. And again, I'm not turning into like a feminist or anything, but yes, tits are cool. There's a lot of very pretty women in this with nice boobs and all that, but you need more substance with that because in the scenes that the boobs are in, you learn absolutely nothing about the characters. There's like one scene where there's two girls like oil wrestling. There's another scene where you're in a strip club and Vinnie Jones is like forcefully kissing this one girl after saying that he's like had sex with a dead woman before, which that was pretty gross and just out of nowhere. A very feeble attempt to build up a disgusting villain really quick. Um, oh yeah, the multiple sex scenes that Larry Bishop has. I swear to God, he has like 5 sex scenes and I wanted to die during each of them. Like sex scenes with the main character can work, but when you have somebody who looks exactly when you have somebody that looks like Larry Bishop, who's like got a very obvious spray tan, he looks orange as fuck throughout the entire movie. He's just unpleasant to look at and just overall just I could not stand watching him. Uh like it's just like this film is just like it's just ew whenever he's on screen. And there's so much nonsense bullshit. There's a scene where Michael Madsen and Eric Balfour just start fighting for no fucking reason. They're just like beating the shit out of each other, and I guess it's supposed to be funny? I don't fucking know. I don't know what tone this is going for. Now, there are plenty of people who say that pretty much everything that Quentin Tarantino produces is like a piece of shit or executive produces. Tarantino produced Suki or executive produced Sukiyaki Western Django, but from Takashi Miike. I haven't seen that film. He produced My Name is Modesty, which is a Modesty Blaze movie. Um, Hostel, which I'm not. I hate Hostel. This is better than Hostel to me. I'd have to rewatch it to see if I like it more, but I just remember hating Hostel. Killing Zoe, I really hated. I know a lot of people seem to like it. I think Roger Avery made a much better crime movie in Lucky Day. Um, Producer wise, he produced The Man with the Iron Fist, which I thought was actually a fuck ton of fun. And I think RZA didn't do a bad job directing it. And I thought the writing was fun. The film didn't take itself too serious. It was violent. I actually enjoyed the wire work in it. It was like very creative and it wasn't just people floating through the air. There was like actually good choreography. Yeah, there was some bad CGI blood at times, but I think it worked for the stylish thing that the film was going for. There were a lot of really good practical effects as well, especially if you watch the unrated version. But I can watch The Man with the Iron Fist any day. I enjoy that film, even if a lot of people don't. But this film, first off, on the back of the Blu-ray, you see Larry Bishop there holding two shotguns, and Eric Balfour there holding a crossbow. This clip of Michael Madsen shooting the gun at the bikers, that's real. Eric Balfour holding the crossbow. He never holds it like that. He shoots one guy twice, but this is fake. Whoop, this is fake. Larry Bishop never holds two shotguns at the same time. That would have been sick, shooting two guys off of bikes at the same time. There are no shootouts while people are on bikes. Like they get off the bikes and they have a really shitty shootout. And this person on the back, full of awesome gunfights and badass characters. What? Like, huh? You want to explain to me where the badass characters are? Other than Eric Balfour, who could have been badass, but he doesn't get enough screen time to really build anything up. Uh, and Larry Bishop's character isn't badass. He's really boring, to be honest. But like, yeah, like full of awesome shootouts. The action in this, okay, I can give them one thing. They use blood squibs. That's one thing I can give them, but they're very meh blood squibs. They don't shoot that much. And I'm kind of used to Tarantino having the like insane blood squibs that are like the hyper stylized violence that actually is a lot of fun to watch. And here it's just kind of there's a couple throat slits I guess that are okay, but for the most part the violence in this is just like whatever. Uh, the actors that are on the front of the case. Let me explain. Michael Madsen, Vinnie Jones, David Carradine, and Dennis Hopper. Michael Madsen is a main character. I will say that right now. He has plenty of screen time, but he doesn't really do much, to be honest. Even if he's in the film quite a bit, he kind of just sits there and sometimes shoots some guys. I think he kills the most people of anybody in this movie. Um, Vinnie Jones has two scenes, basically. Well, he has many mini scenes, many scenes where it'll just be like, oh, randomly him shooting somebody with this like arrow gun, which I was like looking forward to some interesting usage of it, but never came. Uh, David Carradine literally only in one scene, and that's the scene where he dies, and it's just so. I'll get to that in a second. And Dennis Hopper, he's in the film kind of intermittently, and he was fine. But like, okay, this entire movie is supposed to be like set up to revenge. Usually you have like a climbing up the ranks thing where somebody infiltrates the villain's people from the inside because the villain doesn't recognize them because they're older now and they've changed their name or whatever. Or you have rising up the ranks as as the hero, just like killing people until you've whittled down the forces, uh, and then you can get to the leader. This film does that in the opposite way, and it's very underwhelming. Like an hour into the movie, David Carradine gets killed, like gets his head cut off screen, of course, after a really annoying monologue. And it doesn't feel earned, especially since we didn't even know it was David Carradine until then. If you didn't know David Carradine was in the movie, you wouldn't be seeing him until literally an hour in. So, yeah, it feels very much like they shot the film around when they could get these actors so that they can have them on the front. It feels like Carradine's doing a solid since he was in like Tarantino's movies like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. I don't know where and Michael Madsen's in Tarantino movies constantly, but I don't know where Vinnie Jones and Dennis Hopper came from. I like all four of these actors when they are doing good work. But like Vinnie Jones, I think Vinnie Jones's thing is that he wasn't given an interesting character to play because the only thing you learn about him is that oh, he's done cunnilingus on a dead woman. Like he's talking about all of these like tattoos that he has on his arm, and he's like, that purple one I got for eating dead pussy. And I was like, it's just so cartoonish to the point where it's like, I don't care. This isn't a scary villain. It's just very try hard. And the dialogue. Oh God, I have to get to some of the dialogue. I actually took screenshots so I can say them word for word. This is a scene between the information gatherer female character and Larry Bishop. My pussy's on fire. Your thoughtfulness has given me the burning bush. Glad to have the fire marshal arrive on the scene. Extinguish the fire, Mr. Fire Chief. How about we get that fire hose out? Fire drill, fire plug me. Another scene with Michael Madsen. My life used to be a bike and booty epic. Because of you and Pistolero, Larry Bishop's character, it's turned into a goddamn whopper of a chopper opera. This is Larry Bishop's line now. I'm holding two aces and one deuce. I'm holding one deuce at the N6 off Route 66. I had it covered. I want you to meet me at N6 Route 66 tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Think you can remember that? Are you going to tell me six more times? A child of six could remember that. Oh, and the last one, the best writing in the entire movie, between Larry Bishop and David Carradine. My business has always been just kind of minding my own business. So how is business? It's business as usual. Good. Then can we get down to business? Like writing like that, Larry Bishop wrote and directed this. He clearly thinks that he did something here. He clearly thinks that that was like good writing. Um, Directed, written, produced, and starring Larry Bishop. And this is very obviously, I don't even think this is trying to be a legit Grindhouse movie. It seemed to be an excuse for Larry Bishop to like ogle a bunch of women and like, basically just grope them, which that's great. But yeah, just I don't know what to say about this fucking movie. Literally the scene the revenge scenes are out of order, so it's like I don't know how to feel. Um, like uh, again, think of the other movies that were like Grindhouse adjacent or inspired. You have Death Proof, Hobo with a Shotgun, which is awesome. Machete, Planet Terror, like um Thanksgiving semi recently came out. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen a lot of Eli Roth's films. Of his, I've seen Cabin Fever, which I'm iffy on Cabin Fever. Um Hostel I hate. I think the revenge portion is the only good portion of the movie. And the acting's good, but the characters are annoying. And the Death Wish remake, I'd say, is probably my favorite thing he's ever done because I really enjoy the Death Wish remake. Probably because Eli Roth wasn't writing it. I think Joe Carnahan wrote it, which is insane because I didn't care for Smoking Aces when I watched it. So I don't know. I have liked Joe Carnahan stuff before. I liked Boss Level. I should watch that again. But yeah, this film is just rough. It's a rough movie to get through, and it's just what can I give it that's craze? I guess it looks good. The film is well shot. Eric Balfour does a good job. Nobody embarrasses themselves in the film. It's just they're kind of unspecial. Like Madsen, Vinnie Jones, Carradine, and Hopper. They don't embarrass themselves in this movie. There's nothing like Dennis Hopper did in fucking Pro Wicked Prayer where he's playing the like pimp daddy of the devil or anything like that. But yeah, I'll never watch this movie again. I remember getting this at Dollar Tree actually. This is one of the first Blu-rays I ever owned. So that's something. But yeah, not a fan. But that was my review of Hell Ride. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door out.